When I lifted my garage door that morning, I froze. My Lamborghini, my midnight blue pride and joy, looked like it had been dragged through a war zone. The windshield was shattered, the hood cratered side mirrors dangling like snapped limbs. And there on the concrete floor, a tiny shard of pink nail polish caught the light. I knew that color. Karen's color. The HOA secretary from hell. The same woman who once told me, "You'll regret buying that car." She wasn't kidding. When I first moved to Maple Ridge Estates, I thought I'd found peace. 20 years in the military, and I just wanted silence, a quiet cul-de-sac where the loudest thing was a sprinkler at dawn. For 15 years it was perfect, until someone decided we needed an HOA. At first I didn't mind. Newsletters about community pride, block parties, new paint on the entrance sign. Then came the day I met her. Karen Whitmore, self-proclaimed guardian of neighborhood harmony. Mid-50s, blonde curls like a helmet, sunglasses so big she could hide behind them. She carried a clipboard like it was a badge of honor. The first thing she ever said to me wasn't hi. It was, "Is your dog leash within regulation length?" I laughed, thought she was joking. She wasn't. She handed me a printed document about leash dimensions, said longer ones disrupted the visual balance of the community. I'd met control freaks before, but usually they wore rank insignia, not pearl earrings. I should have known then that this woman wasn't enforcing rules. She was hunting for enemies. Things really went south when I brought home my Lamborghini. I'd saved for years deployment bonuses, disability pay, a little stock luck. That car wasn't a flex. It was my reward for surviving hell. I parked it in my driveway, sunlight glinting off the paint like liquid sapphire. The neighbors loved it. Everyone except her. She showed up that same afternoon, clipboard in hand, eyes sharp behind those bug-eyed sunglasses. "Beautiful car," she said flatly, "though I'm not sure a commercial-grade vehicle aligns with HOA aesthetics." I blinked. "Commercial grade? It's a car, not a dump truck." She sniffed. "Some of us find such displays distasteful. They can hurt property values." I smiled, the kind of smile you make when you're seconds from losing patience. "Good thing I'm not selling." She wrote something down and walked off like a queen dismissing a peasant. That was the first shot fired. After that, she became a permanent shadow. I'd catch her walking past my driveway with her phone pretending to check her mail. Once I saw her kneeling by my lawn, photographing a single patch of clover. The next day, I got a letter. Notice of weed infestation, corrective action required within 48 hours. I called Tom, the HOA president, a decent guy. He sighed. "Ignore her, John. She's overstepping again." Overstepping was putting it mildly. Week by week her citations piled up: noise complaints, garage open, too long, unapproved vehicle detailing activity. She once accused me of running a business because I was washing my own car. I tried to stay calm, but you can only take so much before you start feeling hunted. One day I caught her filming me again, standing right in my driveway. "I'm documenting a violation," she said. I told her to leave. She smirked. "You'll regret this." 3 letters arrived that Monday. I started calling her the paperwork sniper. Tom promised to rein her in, but I'd been in the military long enough to know bullies don't stop with warnings. They stop when they're stopped. By summer, she'd turned the whole neighborhood into her personal fiefdom. She called the cops on kids for riding bikes, measured grass with a ruler, tried to ban Memorial Day flags because they were unauthorized signage. Most folks just avoided her, but she had a special obsession with me. I installed cameras front yard garage, even one facing her house. If she wanted a war of documentation, I'd fight on her battlefield. The next few weeks were pure tension. She filed noise complaints when I played music at 9 a.m., called animal control on my dog Duke. Once she left a note on my windshield. "Garages are for parking, not flaunting." I tried reasoning with myself. Maybe she was lonely, bitter, bored. But that kind of logic crumbles fast when someone's clearly out to destroy you. Then came the breaking point. A bright orange notice taped to my garage door. "Final warning. Cease all commercial operations." I laughed out loud. My garage wasn't a business. It was my therapy. Still that night I saw her outside flashlight sweeping my driveway. Lose something, I called. She jumped, muttered something about oil leaks. That's when I realized she wasn't enforcing rules. She was spiraling. I should have seen it coming. The silence before a strike. For 2 weeks, she vanished, no letters, no sightings. I thought maybe she'd moved on. Then one morning I opened the garage door and the world stopped spinning. My car, annihilated. The windshield spider-webbed hood, dented side mirrors, torn off tires, slashed. Every inch screamed rage. And that pink nail polish, my proof. My stomach went cold. I pulled up the camera feed, scrubbed through the night. There she was. 2:07 a.m. Pink cardigan hair tied tight, carrying a sledgehammer like a trophy. For 20 straight minutes she pounded that car to ruin. Then she smiled and walked away like it was a job well done. I called 911. When Officer Willow arrived, he took one look and said, "That's personal." I handed him my phone. He watched the footage, expression hardening. "You want to press charges?" he asked. "Damn right I do." He had an idea. "Let's call her," he said. We dialed, put it on speaker. "Karen," I said calmly. "Someone vandalized my car while I was out of town." She snapped. "Why would I know anything about that stupid car?" I said. "Funny. The footage shows someone who looks exactly like you." Her voice rose venomous. "Good. I'm glad someone did something about that show-off machine. You think you're special, don't you? Living off pity checks, flashing your money?" Willow mouthed. "Keep her talking," I asked. "So you're saying you did it?" And she spat. "Damn right I did." Willow leaned forward. "Ma'am, this is Officer Willow. You just confessed to felony vandalism." The line went dead. We drove straight to her house. She was still holding the sledgehammer when they cuffed her, screaming about veterans freeloading and this isn't over. Neighbors peeked from behind curtains as they took her away. For a moment I felt peace. The bully was finally gone, or so I thought. 2 days later she was out on bail. Of course she was. Sarah, another board member, called me. She's saying you framed her, that the footage was fake. I laughed, but it wasn't funny. "She's dangerous, John," Sarah warned. "Be careful." That night my camera caught something weird, static then motion at the side gate. Nothing visible, but my instincts screamed danger. I moved one camera closer to the garage, set Duke inside instead of out. The next day she showed up again, standing at the edge of my driveway, eyes wild, voice cracking. "You ruined me. I lost my job because of you. I put down my wrench. You lost your job because you smashed a car with a hammer." She took a step closer, trembling. "You think you're some kind of hero? You humiliated me." I stayed calm. "The difference between us, Karen, is I earned my scars doing something useful. You earned yours fighting over lawn height." Her face twisted, trembling between fury and humiliation. "I'll make you pay for this," she hissed. That night I checked the footage again and noticed she'd dropped something near the curb. A key. A garage key with a sticker labeled Emergency HOA Access. My stomach dropped. The spare key I'd given the board months ago. She'd kept a copy. I called Willow immediately. "She still has access," I said. He cursed. "We'll patrol the area tonight. Keep everything locked." At 1:43 a.m., Duke started barking. My phone buzzed, motion detected. I pulled up the feed. Karen stood in my driveway again, the same sledgehammer in hand. But this time her eyes weren't on the car. They were on my front door. I called 911. "She's back," I whispered. "She's armed." Before police arrived, she started shouting. "You ruined my life, you bastard! I'll finish what I started." Then she swung. The hammer cracked against my door like a gunshot. Duke barked furiously. The second swing never landed. I opened the door halfway, just enough. She lunged. I sidestepped, grabbed her wrist, twisted. The hammer clanged against the concrete. She screamed, clawing at my face, but all I could smell was alcohol and desperation. "Stand down," I barked. She didn't. So I used the one move I'd practiced 1,000 times, a controlled strike, just enough to end it. She went down cold. When Willow arrived, he just stared. "You've got to be kidding me," he muttered. "Didn't she just make bail?" I nodded, breathing hard. And she brought her weapon of choice. As they cuffed her again, she shrieked like a banshee, accusing me of attacking an unarmed woman. Willow shook his head. "Ma'am, you broke into a home with a deadly weapon while on bail. You're done." That night, after the sirens faded, I sat on the porch with Duke at my feet. The air felt heavy, but not hostile, like the storm had finally broken. Across the street, her porch light flickered off. The house looked hollow, empty. I should have felt victory, but what I felt was exhaustion. Months of tension draining at once. Karen went to trial a few weeks later. I didn't even want to be there, but Willow said my testimony would seal it. She looked smaller in court. No pearls, no power, just a pale woman staring at the floor. The prosecutor played the footage, her with the hammer, her confession, her attack. The jury didn't need long. 5 years in prison. Mandatory psychiatric evaluation. When the judge read the sentence, she sobbed. I didn't feel joy, just relief. Because justice, when it finally arrives, doesn't roar, it exhales. I walked out of that courthouse knowing one thing: she'd destroyed everything trying to prove I didn't deserve peace. But peace was never hers to give or take. It's something you build, protect, and defend quietly, stubbornly, even when the world or a neighbor with a clipboard tries to tear it away. Lesson: strength isn't about how loud you fight, it's about staying calm enough to let the truth do the hitting for you.